So we have completed aphorism number 3. Anybody can enlist me the knowledges of physician which is given in the aphorism number 3?
Yes, ma'am.
Knowledge of disease, knowledge of medicine,
Mention your
application
name
of
and then give the answer.
Bhagyashree.
Okay.
Knowledge of disease, knowledge of medicine,
Hmm.
application of drug, knowledge to disease,
Hmm.
preparation, knowledge of preparation of medicine,
Hmm.
knowledge of dose,
Hmm.
knowledge of choice of remedy,
Hmm.
knowledge of repetition of medicine.
Very good. Anybody else?
Yes, ma'am.
Huh.
Ramdev Chauhan.
Very good. Huh.
Knowledge of disease,
Hmm.
knowledge of medicinal power,
Hmm.
knowledge of choice remedy,
Hmm.
knowledge of medicine, knowledge of proper, knowledge of repetition of dose,
Hmm.
and ability to remove the obstacles.
Yes. So Bhagyashree, you forget that obstacle to remove, obstacle to cure.
Yes, ma'am.
And Namdev, you also forget one. Okay.
Knowledge of medicine.
Knowledge of dose and the repetition of the dose. Okay, very good. So we have completed all these knowledges. Any query, any doubt in this?
No, ma'am.
Everybody understood knowledges?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Now we will move further for the aphorism number 4. Can anybody read for me aphorism number 4?
Yes, ma'am.
Mention your name and then read.
Tejashree.
Read Tejashree.
He is likewise a preserver of health if he knows the things that derange health and cause disease and how to remove them from persons in health.
Okay, thank you. So he is likewise a preserver of health. He means who?
Physician.
Physician. So
Physician.
physician is likewise. So he is like a preserver of health. So this is the second adjective used by Dr. Hahnemann for the physician. He is a preserver of health. The one more adjective he used for the physician, that is the practitioner of the healing art, that we have seen in the third aphorism. So like that he used the another word for the physician, that is a preserver of health. So he is a practitioner of healing art, he is a preserver of health. So many names he has given to the physician because he is taking care of society. He is doing a very pure work, very prestigious work, that is a curing of sick. He is restoring the health of that person, and that's why Dr. Hahnemann is using a very good name, good phrases for the physician. So we are feeling a proud कि we are a preserver of health, we are a practitioner of a true healing art. So he is a physician of a preserver of health. Though he is a preserver of health, but he should know, if he knows the things that derange the health, so that is the cause of the disease. So yesterday I have given you the small explanation regarding the cause of the disease. That is the exciting cause, maintaining cause, and the fundamental cause. So the cause of the disease, that is the exciting cause for the acute disease, chronic diseases के लिए fundamental cause, and how to remove it from the person's health. So you are a preserver, you are preserving something. So you have to preserve your health from whom? From the noxious agent. एक second ना. So we are preserving our health from the noxious agent. We have to preserve ourselves from our inimical agent. So we here we physician is a preserver from the cause of the disease. So we should know the cause of the disease and we have to remove it from the person's health. Then only the physician is the preserver of health. Clear? Clear or
Yes,
not?
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Who
ma'am.
is the preserver of health?
The physician.
Physician. And
Physician.
how he
Physician.
became a preserver of health?
Remove the cause of medicine.
Ah,
Disease. Remove the cause of disease.
and by identifying it. Correct?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Because what it causes, it causing the derangement of health, and that's why we have to remove it from our body, which is given in the aphorism number 4. Now in the aphorism number 5, he mentioned the different causes, that is the exciting cause for the acute disease, maintaining cause for the acute disease, and the fundamental cause for the chronic disease. But before that, give me the meaning of acute disease. What do you understand by acute disease? Mention your name and then give your answer.
Nikita ma'am.
Huh.
Ma'am, acute disease means which appears suddenly and large amount of time. And chronic disease means develop gradually. Means that remain or remain at the end.
Okay. Anybody else? Anybody wants to try? What do you mean by acute and chronic diseases?
Diseases are short duration and lasting for certain time
Suchita ka.
and without any resultant effects.
Okay.
ma'am.
Anybody? भाऊ साहेब? भाऊ साहेब गाडे? भावना? भावना?
Acute ऋषिराज madam.
बोला.
Acute disease means these diseases are the short term and get cured easily, and they get appear suddenly, but this cannot live as long lasting.
Okay. Good. Anybody else? भाऊ साहेब? भावना?
Hello, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
What do you mean by acute and chronic disease?
Acute disease stays for short term, and chronic disease stays long term. And
so acute means which appear suddenly and they are lasting for the short period of time. So we diagnose any disease, acute or chronic, depending upon their क्या बोलते हैं उसको, जब वो they are depending upon their sustaining power. But if the patient is not cured, then it transfer into the chronic one. So जब तक वो patient ठीक नहीं होता है, up to that time we cannot diagnose it as an acute disease or a chronic disease. So if that patient is cured within 7 days, within 6 days, then we label it as a acute disease. So depending upon the time span of the cure, remember that I use the word cure, not the recovery or not the comfortness. It should be a perfect cure. It should be a ideal cure. So if that patient gets relief, if that patient is cured within 7 days, then it is known as an acute disease. If it is more than 7 days but less than 15 days, if within the 15 days the patient feels better, the patient is get cured, then this is a subacute disease. But the patient is not getting relief, the patient may be in the standstill condition, or the symptoms increases, or the new symptoms appear, or the patient may palliate and the symptoms appear again and again after 1 month or 2 months, then this became a chronic disease. If the when the patient gets cure, depending upon that span, we are deciding whether that disease is an acute disease or chronic disease. For example, if a patient comes to you and patient tells you that he is having a pain in stomach since morning, so you cannot diagnose it as an acute disease because patient is having the pain since morning. He is not cured by you. If you have given XYZ medicine to him and you have asked the patient that take this medicine 3 doses for 3 days, and after the 3 days, on the 5th day or on the 6th day, when the patient comes to you and he said that now I am completely fine, there is no pain in my stomach, and all the complaints are now cured, all the parameters are now within a normal range, that is a blood pressure, pulse, hemoglobin is normal, then the temperature is not there, there is no swelling, no pain in the stomach, and the appetite is normal, he is taking a regular water, all the natural eliminations are also within a normal range, then you diagnose that disease as an acute one. If, on the other hand, that symptoms persist more than 8 days, and he said that now I am having a new complaint, that is a nausea and vomiting with my pain. If you again prescribe the medicine, either you can give the same medicine, you can increase the potency, or you can change your medicine because they are the new symptoms. So depending upon the follow-up, you have prescribed one medicine to the patient. After again 7 to 8 days, patient comes to you and said that still I am having a nausea and a vomiting. And in between that, you have asked the patient to do the certain pathological investigations because it may be the case of hepatitis. He may have a jaundice like symptoms. So, and if the report comes after the 15 days and if there is a typhoid, then that became a subacute disease because the range of the typhoid is 15 days. So 4 days before, after 7 days, in between that, the pathological investigations are now confirmed that that patient is having a hepatitis. And by giving the medicine, proper medicine, the patient will get the cure within 15 to 20 days. So that will become a acute, subacute disease. But the patient should get the relief. But still the patient is not getting a relief after 15 to 20 days. The patient is still complaining something. The patient may have a new complaints. After the 20 days, the patient is not getting relief. Continuously you are changing potency, you are giving a new medicine, you are taking the case, but still the patient is not getting 100% cure. After the investigations and all these things, if it require the 1 month or 2 month, and after that if the patient got relief after 3 to 4 months, then you have to consider it as a chronic disease, and after the end of your treatment you have to give the anti-miasmatic treatment. So this is the way by which we are classifying acute, subacute and the chronic disease depending upon the time span of the cure. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
So acute means the patient got relief within the short period of time. There is a recovery within the 7 days. More than 20 days, more than 3 weeks, so it became a chronic disease. Useful to the physician in assisting him to cure are the particulars of most probable exciting cause of acute disease. So, if you know the cause of the disease, it will help the physician to cure that patient. It will help the physician to give the medicine. But we are not running behind the name of that bacteria and the virus. We only require exciting cause. We do not require microbiological cause for the disease. As also the most significant point in the whole history of the chronic disease. As it is required in the acute disease, it is also important in the chronic disease. When you are taking the whole history of the chronic disease, and if you know the cause of the disease, then this will be a significant point to enable him to discover its fundamental cause. So the fundamental cause is responsible for chronic disease and exciting cause is responsible for acute disease. So first we will take the example of exciting cause. So exciting cause may be cold air, cold food, hot air, rain. It may be the spicy food. It may be the late night sitting. It may be the sedentary lifestyle. It may be overstraining of eyes. It may be the foreign body entering into your eye, your ears. It may be the anything which excites your body, which causes the derangement of the vital force, which leads to the acute disease. They are the exciting causes. Fundamental causes, the examples are the miasms. Because the chronic disease is not appear suddenly by your definition only. It appears slowly and steadily. Sometimes this acute disease may transfer into the chronic one because of the faulty treatment or because of the opposite treatment or because the patient is not taking any treatment. So the disease is present as it is in the body and then it became a complicated and it may transfer into the chronic disease. So here the cause is the fundamental cause and the fundamental cause are nothing but the miasms. So miasm means it is a noxious agent which causes a chronic disease. So miasm, we will take a separate lecture on the miasm. So miasm means a noxious agent. It is a morbific agent, which is any infection which leads to the chronic disease. So the three types of miasms are present in the homeopathy, or we consider three types of miasms, that is psora, psychosis and syphilis. And fourth one is the tubercular miasm, which is the combination of psychotic and syphilitic miasm. So these are the three basic and 1+1, that is a tubercular miasm. They are the fundamental cause of the disease. So the psora miasm, which is responsible for the skin complaints or the skin diseases or any functional diseases where there is no pathological changes, there is no destruction in the body of the tissues, then the miasm is the psora. So these miasms are the creatures that we cannot see, just like the vital force, but we can see its effect, we can feel its effect because it disturbs our body, it deranges our vital force. Psychotic miasm is responsible for the any overgrowth which is present in the patient's body. If there is a overgrowth of bone, overgrowth of muscle, overgrowth of boil or anything which is extraordinary, for example of renal calculi or the gallbladder stone, that is the extra thing that is happening in our body, excessive collection deposition jahan pe hota hai, that is nothing but the psychotic miasm. And the third miasm is the syphilitic miasm, where there is a complete destruction of the tissues. The cells are get destroyed. System is not working properly. Organ is not doing its function properly. Then this is under the syphilitic miasm. So these are the three basic myzum, and the fourth one is the tubercular myzum, which is a combination of psychosis and syphilis. And the symptoms are related to the respiratory system. Other symptoms are also present, that again we will take it separately. So this is the basic information for this myzum. Sora, which is related to the skin complaint. Psychosis, which is related to the deposition or any overgrowth. And the syphilis is related to the destruction. So remember these three words: functional, overgrowth, and the destruction. Sora is a venereal myzum. There is no there is no sexual transference in the Sora, but psychosis and syphilis, it is a venereal Sora is a non-venereal myzum, and psychosis and the syphilis, they are the venereal myzums. It is transmitted sexually from one partner to another partner. And so this is the basic information.
Ma'am, what is venereal myzums?
Venereal means it is transmitted from one partner to the another partner. The way is improper coition or the improper sex. So the psychosis and the syphilis is transmitted by the improper coition, but the Sora is a purely a non-venereal myzum. Clear? Clear or not?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So the acute diseases are caused by the exciting causes, and the chronic diseases are caused by the fundamental myzums. And what are the three types of myzums are present in the homeopathy?
Sora, syphilis, and psychosis.
Psychosis, correct.
Syphilis.
Which are generally due to the chronic myzum. In these investigations, the ascertainable physical constitution of the patient, his moral and intellectual character, his occupation, mode of living and habits, his social and domestic relations, his age, sexual functions, etc., are to be taken into consideration. So these are the extra points that we have to take into the consideration whenever you are taking a case of the chronic patient. Why they are necessary? Because we have to identify the myzum, and for that we require the certain investigations so as to ascertain the myzum. So first thing is a physical constitution. The Sora is having a different constitution. The Sora is lean, thin constitution. Psychotic is, it is a medium constitution, or it is not much fluffy, or it is not a lean, thin. The physical appearance is again different of the psychosis, Sora, and syphilis. His moral and intellectual character. Again, the three myzums will show a different moral values and the intellectual character. The Sora forgets all the things. Forgetfulness is the symptom of Sora. When the Soric patient is reading, then he forget what he reads in the previous line. So forgetfulness is there while reading, while writing, while doing anything. Psychotic myzum is not like that. The forgetful is not there in the psychosis, but he is having a reserve character. He will not reveals all the things. So his moral values are very less. He will not, he's a self-centered, जिसको हम बोलते हैं, that kind of person is a psychosis. Intellectually good. सोरा जो रहेगा इंटेलेक्चुअली वो भी अच्छा रहेगा, बट फॉरगेटफुलनेस की वजह से he may have the certain problem. Syphilis, intellectual power is too good, but he is not using his intellectual character, intellectual power for the betterment of society. He is always causing a destruction in the society. So in this way, the moral and the intellectual characters are differ according to the myzum. Occupation, it is maybe differ. In any occupation, we can see Sora, syphilis, and psychosis. But why we require this occupation? Because the certain diseases, occupational diseases, for the diagnosis of the certain occupational diseases and for the treatment, we require this. For example, a person is always doing his work by sitting, always sits in front of the laptop or the computer. So he may have that kind of diseases. Second person who is standing all the time, he is having a roaming job, then he may have a different kinds of diseases. So depending upon the occupation, the myasm will again get differ and diseases will again get differ. That sedentary life activity जिसको है, he may have the mental exertion much more, where the potency will differ, diseases will differ. He may have the complaints like obesity, he may have the complaint like blood pressure, or he may have a thyroid problem. The person who is roaming here and there always, he may have a lumbar spondylitis, he may have a cervical problem, he may have the sciatica. So, or the person who is working in cigarette industry, or working in the, or he may be the chimney sweeper, or he may be working in the sugarcane factories, they may have a diseases related to the respiratory system. So you will learn in the pathology, in the systemic pathology, that is occupational diseases. They may have a lung fibrosis. So, or they may have a pneumonia. So because the small fibers, they are entering into their respiratory system and they causes the infection. So depending upon the occupation, the diseases are differ. Mode of living and habits, they are also important. Mode of living, if that person is living in a well क्या बोलते हैं उसको, it is living in a well area, well ventilated area, the supply of the water is good, he is taking a good food, he may have a different types of diseases. So depending upon the mode of living, again the diseases are differ. The person who is living in a slum area, he may have the different diseases. The habits, the patient who is having the habit of chewing tobacco or cigarette or bidi or gutka or whatnot, or alcohol also, different types of alcohol, he may have a diseases related to the liver, related to the lung. So he may have a fatty liver, he may have the cirrhosis of liver, he may have asthma, so pneumonia. So all the diseases are again depend upon your mode of living and your habits. Social and domestic relations. If that patient is not behaving properly in the society, if he is having the quarrel with the family members or with the others, then he may have a diseases related to his mind. He'll always be irritable, anxious. So all these things will be considered in the symptoms of mind. His age, again important, we know the importance of age. The certain diseases are very common in the children, certain diseases are common in the older age. Sexual function we are considering here so that we can diagnose myasm, because SORA is a non-venereal and the psychosis and the syphilis, they are the venereal myasm. So mode of transmission we know by this function and hence we are taking. So these all extra points we have to consider whenever you are taking the chronic case. So as we move further, I will give you a format for the case taking. In that you will get all these things. So these are the points which are necessary whenever you are taking chronic case. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
So what do you mean by exciting cause? What is exciting cause?
Exciting cause related to acute diseases.
Okay. What are the examples that I have given for the exciting cause?
Cold,
Cold air, hot air,
Cold food,
Hmm.
cold air.
body.
cold air, spicy
Cold
food,
or
sedentary
Pizza.
lifestyle.
What I said, mention your name and then give your answer. You are talking all the students at a one time.
Nikita ma'am.
Huh.
Cold air, spicy food, sedentary lifestyle, which excite our body. That is the exciting cause. Acute disease.
What do you mean by chronic disease? Mention your name and then give your answer. What do you mean by chronic disease?
Rushiraj madam. Chronic diseases which are lifelong as well as inherited by parents or previous
Cause
generation.
is responsible for chronic disease.
Cause.
What is the cause for the chronic disease?
Just remember fundamental cause.
Fundamental
Fundamental
cause.
causes. What are the fundamental causes?
Basic miasms, psoriasis, syphilis.
Psora, psychotic, syphilitic.
Give the two characters of Sora.
Functional changes.
Problems.
Mention your name and give your answer so that the other will not speak.
Rushiraj madam. Sura have the skin diseases and having the functional changes.
Very good. Next is, what is psychosis?
Rushiraj madam.
Rushiraj, tu tham bata.
If venereal, there is a venereal miasm, and if excessive collection of deposition, then it is psychosis, overgrowth of bone,
Good.
skin eruption.
What is syphilitic miasm?
Ma'am, is Vibhavari.
Okay.
Ma'am, syphilitic is means it's regarding destructions of means anything, and it's sexual.